Hey gamers, Daltonic here, and in this video I'm going to walk you through every step and all the hints for each step for the final puzzle in Resident Evil Requiem. Before I dive in, I want to give a big shout out to the YouTube and Reddit community who collaborated on the solution. I definitely couldn't have figured out all the steps myself. But now that we have the answer, I wanted to put everything together in one video. So let's get to it. Now the final puzzle has two parts. The first being to collect Marie's doll. Marie being the name of the Shadow Ghost, or the Girl, the monster who stalks Grace for most of the first half of the game. This puzzle actually begins in the basement of the care center, after you collect the forklift key and make it back to processing through inspection. I know a lot of folks are a bit upset at this hint, but I actually think it's super clever. But we want to start the puzzle by just chilling here and processing and letting body bags and zombies drop into the pit. We get the hint for this first step from the very first note we pick up right after waking up in the care center as Grace in room 203, the progress notes. The notes reference a blood extraction process, presumably involving Marie, or the girl, that begins at precisely 11:03 and ends 15 minutes later at 11:18, otherwise hinting that we need to extract blood for 15 minutes and then continue the puzzle. Now, waiting around is lame, sure, but the reason I think this step is clever is if you consider the name of the room we're waiting in, processing. Of course, processing means executing or following a procedure, but when we think about processing, specifically with computers, we often correlate a computer processing to the idea of the computer thinking, or loading. And consequently, we are waiting during this time. So here we are, literally processing, in processing, until we proceed to the processing process. Well done, Capcom. Well done. While you're waiting, keep in mind there is a typewriter just left of the shutoff wheel. You should save in case you need to return and retry any of the puzzle steps. After the 15 minutes, turn the wheel and drop down to activate the processing cycle.
Processing will now begin.
During this step, you will want to use your handgun and shoot zombies simply to stagger them and allow every zombie to be devoured by the crusher. It's best to aim for knees during this section to avoid accidentally popping a zombie's head, forcing you to reload your most recent save. Hopefully you used that typewriter. When you slide down into the blood pool, be sure to pull the lever to the left after exiting the pool. If you are sure to feed all the zombies to the crusher during the processing cycle, you will get a text notification on screen. If you process long enough, the text will mention a ton of blood, versus only a lot of blood if you didn't wait long enough. If you got the correct prompt, you're on the right path. Continue on your mission to rescue Emily and escape the basement. When you return to the central hall of the care center, head to the west wing bathroom where the zombie with broken glass in her face is encountered the first time Grace passes through the wing. In the bathroom, head to any of the toilets and flush the toilet 8 times, as hinted at by the bathroom picture in the investigation file from the very beginning of the game. In the photo, you can see an 8 scrawled on the wall in blood. With the toilets flushed, exit the center and head to the helicopter. Then head to the underground lab. Right as you finish descending to the lab, I would recommend creating a new save file. There are some clues in this area for our next step that we will want to come back to without having to replay too much. So create a new save and continue on. As you go to escape the lab through the emergency escape route, in the room where the giant glass container of blood explodes, you will find Marie's doll on the floor at the base of the stairs on your way to exit the room. With the doll in hand, exit back to the helicopter to end the section. I would recommend playing through Leon's section quickly, then once you have control of Grace again, head straight to the first save room and deposit Marie's doll in the item box and save. We will want to jump back to this save in just a moment. Load back to the underground lab to find the first 2 clues for our second part of the puzzle. One of the steps in this part of the puzzle includes a cipher, and these 2 clues will give us hints to 2 of the 4 letters in the cipher. On the desk in the room that's also an elevator, find the hourglass. Examine the hourglass and remove the screws from the side to remove the hourglass from its frame. Then turn the glass upside down and allow the sand to fall. After a minute, you should be able to begin making out the message on the bottom of the glass. U equals 380,000. Let's write that down. Now go through the underground lab towards the private lab where we found the helicopter key. On the table just outside the room is a note with Grace's lab work. The final line of the note reads, C equals 4.2 LY. Let's write that down too, then load the save we made after putting Marie's doll in the item box. From here, play through the game until Leon's section where he leaves RPD and heads through Kendo's gun shop.
It hasn't changed.
After the cutscene in the shop, look down to the right to find the body of a Mr. Charlie doll. You can't do anything yet, but take note of this location. Exiting the shop, you will encounter a boss fight here. After you defeat the boss, turn right and head to the basketball court. There is the head of a Mr. Charlie doll in the center of the court, and a toppled over net to your left. Using Leon's feet, push the Mr. Charlie doll head through the basketball hoop. You should then be able to interact with the hoop to receive another text notice on screen about not having time to play around. As a side note, I think this is also a hint to the step in processing for Grace. Leon doesn't have time to play, but Grace does, as she literally has to sit there. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but digressing. After you get the text prompt, return to the Mr. Charlie doll body at the gun shop, and now you will be able to interact to receive the message, just ignore A. Let's write that down as well. After this clue, continue through the remainder of the game. We want to loop all the way back to where we came up from the basement with Emily, but now we have Marie's doll in storage. Once you beat the game, load a new game on any difficulty and play through until the care center. If you stored Marie's doll in the item box before the end of your last playthrough, you should be able to find the doll in the box right at the start of this new playthrough. When you come back up from the basement to the care center's central hall, turn around and collect the severed hand. Now head to the guard's office and grab Marie's doll from the item box and take the hand, the doll, and Emily to the blood lab in the East Wing. interact with the analyzer, but before you begin to analyze anything, look at the note on the corner of the analyzer that says G equals 150 million. This is the final clue for our cipher. Analyze the hand and complete the molecule puzzle to receive the cipher, a seemingly random string of G's, C's, U's, and A's. Seemingly random until we look back at our cipher clues. A can be ignored. G, we just discovered, is 150 million. C is 4.2 LY, and U is 380,000. These numbers are actually distances, with 150 million being the approximate distance in kilometers from the Earth to the Sun. 380,000 is the average distance from Earth to the Moon in kilometers. Technically it's 384,000, but since that distance changes as the Moon orbits, I'll allow the round down to 380. Now, 4.2 LY, or light years, is the distance to Proxima Centauri, our closest star, not including the Sun. So we can ignore A, G is the Sun, C is a star, and U is the Moon. Now head upstairs to the lead researcher's office with Marie's doll and Emily and approach the puzzle machine. You will have the option to input another code using the Sun, Star, and Moon buttons. If we translate the cipher, ignoring A, we get the code Sun, Sun, Star, Sun, Moon, Star, Sun, Moon, Sun, Moon, Star, Moon. When you input the code holding Emily and the doll, the final puzzle will be complete. My name is Daltonic. Thanks for watching.